So again, knowing that it's been like, almost like you said, 10 years since this whole thing happened, and now seeing like where it started and to where it is now on Netflix for like everyone to consume everywhere. Like, how do you feel about basically knowing that you are being opened up to a larger audience
Right,
through
right,
Netflix?
right.
I mean, it was so exciting. When the last Airbender came on, when I heard that it was coming, of course I hoped. I thought, well, I hope Korra makes it, but you just never know. And I, especially because of knowing that the live action thing was happening, I
Mm-hmm.
thought,
Right.
well, listen, if it's, I shouldn't really get my hopes up, because if it's just about kind of bringing that
Mm-hmm.
familiarity with the franchise to Netflix, because they are smart and savvy and know that that's going to help them get that show get seen.
Right.
Obviously, there's been a little drama since then, but I thought hopefully it happens. And I want to make very clear, it is not a matter of making any money off of it being on
Mm-hmm.
Netflix. I wish
Right.
I could say like COVID hasn't affected me at all. It's been great. Like I'm
Right.
just rolling in it from all that sweet Netflix money. But that is definitely not what happens in any way, shape, or form. It's more just
Oh,
about
okay.
being so psyched about to exactly what you were saying, Mr. Vincent, is
Hmm.
just getting those more eyeballs on it, and being interested to see what a younger group of people, for example, like Shira has such a huge
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
following on Netflix, and I think some of those people hadn't seen Korra, and I thought, how fun, and the creator of Shira has been so effusive about her love of Avatar and Korra, and
Right.
being inspired by the relationship between Korra and Asami and all that,
Right.
with Shira. And so it's almost like, it's almost nerve wracking in a sense, because you sort of hope like, oh, I hope people like Korra too. It's that it's not just like, oh, this is the cousin of this, and it inspired this
Yes.
other thing that we do love.
Right.
But the reception has been so great, and it's been really neat to see a lot of people talking about how this sort of conflicts in Korra's seasons, how much they feel important right now because of what's
Hmm.
going on in the
Yes.
world,
Right.
and in our
Absolutely.
country. And so that has been really humbling and just like so powerful, and
Yeah.
it's an amazing feeling to have anything to do, anything at all, because I didn't do any of the writing or the illustrating. I mean, to me that's the real magic.
Got you.
um but to know that people feel fortified, or they feel inspired, or they feel unsettled and motivated
Hmm.
to act,
Hmm.
in any part because of the show or anything that I had to do with it, is like, oh, because you feel so, so many of us have felt so out of control this
Mm-hmm.
year,
Right.
with everything that keeps getting
Right.
thrown at us. So it's nice to
Right.
feel like, oh, maybe something I already did.
This is now a legacy for you. Like, how does that feel? Like having a
Yeah.
legacy.
I can't. I mean, I keep waiting to still get fired for season one. Like, I'm still waiting for them to be like, we found
It's not
someone
gonna
better.
work. Right.
So
You're so good at it,
yeah,
though.
it's the one thing I'll say is, and I don't mean this as a pat on the back to myself. I truly don't,
Pat yourself on
because
the back,
again, I'm a
Janet.
Give
nerd.
yourself
But
your
like,
flowers.
I'm glad that it's me, because I know how much it means to me, and I'm
Yes.
glad that I'm glad that it's me, because I will never ever get tired of, I just got a like beautiful handwritten 6-page letter from a fan who is now like an aide in DC, but
Yes.
who was just like talking about her own experience with Korra and how it got her through things. I had just tears streaming down my face. There's no
Right.
part of me that ever disconnects from that and just goes like, "Oh, that's so sweet."
Right.
And so I just know that it's not always like that for people. They don't always, and it's not their fault, but they don't always connect with the material,
Hmm.
or they don't always connect with whatever world that of real life fans that connect
Right.
with it. If you're in a video game that is beloved by people, but you're like this killer or whatever, and people love you, like you may not have the same feelings. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
not the
Yeah.
same as to
Exactly.
be like, oh, but it's like, does that take away any meaning if someone's like, you know, I was in a car accident and all I could do was play video games, and like, believe it or not, shooting a bunch of people as your character kind of helped me get well again. Like, that's different.
Right.
That's maybe not something that I would connect to on the same level as I connect to
Right.
what Korra's story was.
Right.
So I'm glad that it lines up emotionally for me in a way that I will never ever take it for granted, and I will never take someone's experience with the show for granted.
Amen.
So I can offer that forever. You know what I mean?